Hello, Braves country. It's Coach Ken Anderson coming for Hardcore Braves. And today I got Andrew for our series preview. The Marlins coming up, and I got my main man Ryan going to join us tonight. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm good, fellas. I'm good. How about you guys?
Good.
Doing well.
Andrew, we nailed it right in the mouth as far as the series. We took 2 out of 3. We knew that we'd get them on the end, so good job by us. Now we get to move to the Marlins. 4 game set. They're hard to take a win. So real quick, pitching matchups are interesting. Let's go ahead and get it real quick. J.R. Ritchie going to pitch Monday night. He's going to get Max Meyer. Game 2 is going to be Martin Perez, we found out. That's a good thing. So we've been wanting Martin to start one of these games, Andrew. We get him. He's going to throw, I think, is that the Braxton Richards start, I think? And then game 3, we've got Chris Sale going against the junk pitcher. No, his name is Jason Junk, and he throws other than junk. He throws other stuff. And remember, you can get in a Braves hip coil, and we're going to cover the hitters here. But in the last game, really good pitching matchup. Strider against Alcantara, how you want to say it. Just overall, big 27-foot thousand. What do you think about the pitching matchups, Andrew?
I think they're really good pitching matchups across the board. 2 young pitchers tomorrow night, or tonight, excuse me. For game 1, Max Meyer, J.R. Ritchie. I think this will be a tough test for Ritchie against a good lineup. That's really pesky from the Marlins. They got good hitters all throughout the lineup. Ritchie's been pitching well. Tuesday, I think you could see some runs being scored by the Braves offense. We've hit Braxton Miller, Braxton Garrett, whatever his name is, well in the past. I'm not too sure much about Junk. I'm looking at his numbers right now. He's got decent numbers, but I think our offense should rake, and that's the game of the series I'm most confident in winning with Sale on the mound. And then Thursday, like you said, a great pitching matchup between Strider and Sandy.
How about you, Ron? Really good pitching matchup.
Yeah, good pitching matchups. Sandy and Max Meyer are going to be tough customers. Junk, I think, can be a little tricky, but I do like that we have Chris Sale rolling in that game. On paper, I expect at least a split. It's always hard to win 3 out of 4 in a series, and the Marlins, kind of like the Phillies, man, they got a top 3 really good hitters in the lineup between Edwards, Hicks, and Lopez, but kind of falls off a little bit after that. Now they got some guys with good potential like Owen Casey, like Stowers, like Norby that just aren't quite going yet. So hopefully they stay cold for another 4 games.
Yeah, so again, y'all tuning into the Braves Hip Coil. We'll get into how our hitters should approach it. So right now we're going to look at how our pitchers should be approaching their lineup. And the fact of the matter is Andrew's already hit on, they're very pesky. I mean, the fact of the matter is they're a young team that can run. It was very encouraging from this weekend that we did throw out some runners. We picked off a runner at first. We threw out some runners on the base. Hopefully they'll keep the Marlins from running. But the biggest key for us in this series, Andrew, is our pitchers have to throw strikes. To Ryan's point, their top 3 hitters, especially Lopez, Otto Lopez is having a great year, by the way, and Liam Hicks is a power, and Xavier Edwards is a star. But they got a lot of kids that can break out at any point. The key of this series is going to be throwing strikes, and J.R. Ritchie gets the first task, and that's something he's kind of struggled at. We need a big outing from him Monday night.
Yeah, we kind of need J.R. Ritchie to go out there and I think maybe throw his best start that he's had so far. He's got to throw strikes against the Marlins. They're not going to chase too much. They got great hitters, and they're going to use that speed to their advantage against a young pitcher when they get on base. They want to make him rattled, especially with one of their young horses going on Max Meyer. I really believe this is a big test for J.R. Ritchie. It's a little bit of a different ballpark. Really, it's not going to be. They're possibly going to be more Braves fans there anyway. But this will be a tough test for J.R. Ritchie tomorrow or tonight.
Yeah, Ryan, and to that point, we put JR in some tough situations. We had his major league debut, his home debut, went to Seattle. All that said, this is going to be the first time it's going to feel like just natural breathing for J.R. Ritchie. Do you kind of expect him maybe to get over the hump and have maybe a better command in this outing?
Uh, I don't know when to expect that, but I think that needs to be the standard for him, right? I think you need to come in and expect to pound the strike zone. You can't sit here and walk these guys, especially the top three guys and Lopez, Hicks, and especially Xavier Edwards. Those guys can run, and when they get on base, they're going to create some havoc that you just do not want on the base path. So make them earn their way on board and pound the strike zone. Don't give them anything. They're scrappy offense. They don't need any help because when they get help, they make things really, really tough on you. So make them earn their way aboard, and that's it. Just pound the strike zone.
Yeah, I agree. And interesting too is I've been an advocate, and I know you have, Ryan and Andrew, having that other lefty starter in our rotation. When we get a chance to see what that looks like Tuesday and Wednesday, Perez and Sale, two veteran left-handed pitchers that know how to pitch against a young lineup that can take advantage of that. I think this is our strength, and for you, Andrew, I think these are the two games that we can win just because of Perez and Sale can go in there and lock down this young. If our offense scores any runs, and they're throwing their two weakest pitchers in those games, in my opinion, so those are the two most winnable games in this series. Don't you think, Andrew?
Yeah, totally agree. Perez and Sale have been great, um, but and those are the two most favorable matchups. You never know what you're going to get out of Max Meyer. We've hit him well in the past, and then he's pitched really well against us. Same thing goes with Sandy. Sandy got off to a great start this year, but he's kind of came back down to earth a little bit in his last couple of starts. He struggled a little bit, but overall, I think it's a good series for us. It'll be a great test. Got to keep those top three guys off the bases as best
I
as you
agree.
can.
I agree. Ryan, what do you think? These two middle one games, that's the two you got to go win.
Yeah, those are going to be the ones that you expect those guys just to go and dominate the strike zone and keep guys off base, and you don't have to really worry about the free passes. With Sale and Perez, those guys know how to pitch, they know how to work hitters, and they've been really, really good at it this year. It's favorable pitching matchups. Offense should also have a really good night against those two pitchers, but again, you'll have to see why I think that over on Braves Hip Coil. But um, yeah, I mean, the two middle games are the games that you're going to have to guarantee wins. And if you can split one of the first game and the fourth game, then you're looking really good. But games 2 and 3 are going to have to be the ones that you're like, yeah, we got to check those W's.
Yeah, and one of the things we talked about in the Red Sox series, Andrew, and bring up y'all, is we thought we had to throw a lot of off speed because the Red Sox chase. They did prove that. The only time they really had a couple big hits in the game was Meyer and Contreras. First of all, Contreras' home run was on a really good pitch by Elder. He was guessing that and hit it. Myers got a little hanger. But this series, Andrew, in my opinion, I'll get yours. I think we got to be more fastball. Uh, be fastball more laden. What people don't understand about Marlins Park is actually a pitcher's park. When you look at the overlay, it's in the bottom half of hitters' parks. And so I think we stick to the fastball. This is what I'm going to challenge J.R. Ritchie to do, get his fastball in the zone, especially his two seam, and I think that's the key here. What about you thinking about this series throwing a little bit more fastballs than we have been?
I agree with you. Got to throw the fastball. The Marlins aren't a very powerful team, but they hit the ball hard, and they hit the ball hard in the gap. They hit it into the 5-6 hole. They do a lot of up the middle, and then obviously between the 4-3 hole that you really got to be careful of. But we got to throw a lot of strikes here. We can't be walking guys. Lead the off speed off of the fastball and keep these guys guessing, and really have them on their heels, and to really make sure that we're not walking guys and we're making sure they get outs early and a lot of soft contact as well.
I agree. So I bought my hitting guru on here for a couple of reasons. One was this here. So as a pitching coach, I see you, Ryan, as a young hitting team. What I like to do, and with this confusion, I think the Braves may try to do this, is I'm going to pitch backwards. I'm going to throw off speed and fastball counts. I'm going to throw fastballs in off speed counts. as a hitter or young hitter, do you think that that's a route that we could kind of confuse them the route the Braves may should go here?
I think for a good bit of their lineup, yes. I think after you get past the first three, I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to phase the top three. Those top three are legit dudes in the lineup, right? Stowers again still isn't getting going. He's not really comfortable, so I think that could play against him too. Especially when you're struggling, you kind of want to get on the fastball. The bottom part of their lineup's not very good. Casey's off to a slow start. Christopher Morel is still meddling around in the big leagues, which is crazy, and he's in their lineup. I think it's going to do very well for majority of their lineup. I don't think it's going to phase Xavier Edwards, Otto Lopez, or Liam Hicks. I think Liam might be the one most susceptible to it, but it's not going to phase Edwards or Lopez, and those are the two guys that you're circling that we got to go right after in the strike zone. They got to earn their way on base.
Yeah, I agree, and I think if you keep Lopez and Edwards off base, you got a good chance of winning a lot of ball games this week. The next thing is as far as our bullpen, we know how our bullpen situation sits right now, and it's kind of tricky, but we're going to need spots where our pen throws. And call me crazy here, but I think this is a place we can. He's been very careful of throwing Bummer, but against a young team, this might be a place Bummer can get a little healthy. What do you think, Ryan?
Use the shit out of Aaron Bummer this series, please,
Yeah.
for the love of God. Okay, if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. Throw him every game if you want to, Walt. Throw him out there. Say, all right, Aaron, you've been rested for a week. Go have fun. You get to pitch this week. And the reason why I say that is because they got a couple of dudes that can take you bridge, right? And I'm not saying like Xavier Edwards, he's not a guy that you can sit there and he's going to hit you 30 home runs a year. Like he can pop you probably 10 or 15, but his if you leave something out over the plate, he's probably just going to drill it in the gap. So I think you can get away with more mistakes. So this would be a good series, I think, for Kenley to get right and for Aaron Bummer. So I do agree with you. I think this is a series that we can use Aaron Bummer to save some guys out of the bullpen and take a load off of Dylan Lee a little bit and get some guys right.
I agree. And remember, we started this. This is a 13-game stretch. So far, we're 4-2 on them. We have used the pen. I think Walt's done a pretty good job of picking the games to win. Now, we could have won all 6 of them. One of them was a little bit harder in Ben Brown's game. But overall, I think this is a good spot, good series against a young hitting team, especially from 4 on down. Pick that part of the lineup, Andrew, and let's let Aaron Bummer go eat a couple innings for us. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this will be Aaron Bummer's series to kind of make or break. You go out there in some high leverage situation. He may get a 7th inning high leverage situation this week, and if he can prove that he can get a good outing, he can maybe keep pitching for this ball club. If he has a couple really bad outings, I think that may be the end of his Atlanta Braves tenure, maybe. But I think this is his make or break series, and I think he knows it. And hopefully he goes out there and throws the ball really well. Same thing with Tyler Kenley, like Ryan said. I think this is a big series for Tyler. It's a big ballpark, as you stated, Ken. This is a great time for Tyler to reset, be able to trust his fastball, and that will play off of his breaking pitches, and not have to worry about too much of the long ball, but still keeping the ball down and using that fastball middle up in the zone to fool the hitters.
I agree, and I think that with Aaron and Tyler, you can throw the ball a little bit more in the strike zone. That's one of the things I've seen with Aaron. He's throwing everything way outside, and just maybe throw it in there because, like I said, the fear of a home run should not be there. So we do like our pitchers against a young team. Ryan is spot on. Avoid the top 3 in that lineup. If you can kind of pitch around them a little bit there, and pick your spot. What I mean by that is you get an out and say Lopez hits a double, you can pitch around Hicks to get to the 4 spot or something like that. So with that said, let's go ahead and get our predictions for the series. We always do the hip call with the best hitters. Well, in the series preview, we're going to try to see what pitcher we think is going to have the best outing. In a 4-game set, that's almost all the pitchers are going to get to go. and except probably the guy who we think's been the best pitcher all year for us. But in this thing, who's the starter that you think Ryan will have the best game this week?
Spencer Strider. I think Spencer Strider is going to have the best game. I think he's going to go 7 innings. He's going to punch out 12, and he's going to really dominate the zone with the fastball, and he's going to play his breaking stuff off of that. And his fastball has been really electric. It's been riding through the zone really well. And these young Marlins hitters probably haven't seen a whole lot of that. And you're going to see 97, 96 top shelf with a slider and a curveball and a changeup that are breaking off that same plane. I think Strider's going to have a really fun week in Miami.
Yeah. How about you, Andrew?
I'm going to go Chris Sale. This is his type of game to where he's going to be use that fastball at the top of the zone with high velocity and then use that back foot slider on righties. I think he's got a really good advantage there. And then just blowing guys by, kind of in his day. This is his type of start. It's not the ace versus ace that he loves being. I'd love it if he was matched up against Sandy, but I think Chris Sale is going to give us the best start.
Yeah, I agree. I like both of them. It was hard for me to pick between those two. I think you know the two's going to have the best one. I'm going to lean Chris just because of their left-handed, maybe slowing down Hicks for sure. Hicks is the guy who's been sabotaging guys, getting on these fastballs. So we'll go with him. So let's get out of here on this. How do we see the series going, Ron?
I think we split. It's always hard to win a series when you play 4 games, so I'm going to split. But can I pick my favorite bullpen piece for this series? Not excluding the 3 big boys in the back end, because I think that's unfair. And you know what? I already gave him a little bit of love, but I've shit on this guy quite a bit. I'm going to say Aaron Bummer's going to have a good week for the Braves. I think Aaron Bummer's going to have a really nice. Now, I'm not saying walt him back out there in the 7th inning with 2 guys on, all right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying 5, 6, 7, 8, Bummer comes in. You understand? Let's keep that in line, Walt. Don't get crazy on me. But, yeah, I think Bummer's going to do pretty good.
I do, too. How about you, Andrew? If you want to throw a bullpen piece in there, go ahead.
I like Didier Fuentes against them. If I'm not going to go to the big 3, I'm going to go Didier Fuentes. If I went the big 3, I'm going Robert Suarez. He's been lights out so far. I think he matches up really well against the Marlins with high velocity and the cutters kind of getting in on the left-handed hitters and then the changeup dying on the righties. I think that'll be really big for Suarez. But this is Aaron, like I said, it's Aaron Bummer's week to shine. This could be his last series as an Atlanta Brave, or he just keeps on playing. So,
yeah, what do you think we do? Split 3 out of 4?
I said on the series finale we're going to take 3 or 4, but I'm not confident in that. I'm confident we're going to win game 2 and game 3 if we can find a way to get some runs against either Meyer or Sandy. I think we got a good chance of splitting one of those 2 games and taking 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's really tough. I'm going 3 out of 4, but I'm like Ryan. I would not be surprised if it's not a split, and we should be happy with that. My bullpen piece, dadgum, Ryan, I bring you on the show, and you stole my guy, so I'm going to go Aaron Bummer. I do this to him on Hipco all the time, but that's Aaron Bummer. I think we're going to see good Aaron Bummer. And the reason why I say that is if he's just eating innings, it's going to be good for us. I want to see Aaron throw strikes. One of the problems is Aaron – also realize his stuff's fading. We all can see it. Velocity's down on all his pitches, location. This is a game he can go in and eat innings. Hopefully we'll have a big lead, even in maybe the Martin Perez game. I think Martin's going to throw excellent, and he can go finish the game if he throws 3 innings in that game. So I'm looking for that. So that is your series preview for the Marlins. It starts tonight. We got Big J.R. Ritchie against Max Myers, 2 of the best young pitchers in baseball, so make sure you tune it in. Remember, you find at Braves Hip Coil for all your hitting stuff, at Disgusting Homer, and then at Andrew Davison and Hot Atlanta Highlights, and at Hardcore Braves. We love you, Braves country, and we're out of here, and peace.
You know what, boys? You guys are going to be world champions for the rest of your life.